Most men don't realize it, but they're walking around at 50% of their total energy potential, 50% of their total potential testosterone, 50% of their potential mental clarity and productivity. And this used to be me. I used to be a doughboy. I used to have all these bad habits in my life that held me back from being productive, that held me back from being successful in the gym, that held me back from being productive in the work that I want to get done, right? And the way that I like to compare this is, I know you guys can relate to this. Think back to a time when you were sick, like really sick. You just maybe bedridden, don't have any energy, you feel like crap, stuffy nose, etc. And you feel like you're just lying on your deathbed. And you think back to a time where life was just amazing. You were high energy, you felt good, maybe you missed the gym, like you're thinking, I can't wait to get better and go back into the gym and work on myself. That situation right there, you're at like 50% of the energy that you one day were. So you're thinking back to that good time of like, oh, I used to be in such great health, right? It's the same thing that's going on here. You're at like 50% right now without truly realizing it. So you being sick is actually 25%. Your full potential that you thought was your full potential is 50%. We got another 50 to go. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what I did to change that about my life and literally what felt like 2x my energy output on a day-to-day basis, all right? So the first thing you need to know is that there's two factors that play a major role in your daily energy. First of all, your hormones. The two most important ones are your testosterone and your cortisol, okay? So these guys have an inverse relationship. The higher your cortisol, the lower your test. And testosterone is pretty much energy. All right. So we're going to want to maximize our test and minimize our cortisol or our stress hormone in this case. So the first thing you can do to lower your cortisol and therefore increase your testosterone is go outside more often. Every few hours, step outside for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Just spend some time in the sun, absorbing that vitamin D. Dr. Huberman talks about this, about how big of a role sunlight plays in your circadian rhythm, in your body's rhythm of waking up and having a ton of energy, and then going to sleep, winding down, and letting your body know that, hey, it's time to go to sleep. It's time to shut down and be in a time of rest, right? So we can use sunlight to signal our bodies that's like, hey, it's time to be awake. It's time to be moving. The second thing you can do is consume more micronutrients within your diet. How do you increase your micronutrient intake? You eat more beef, eggs, and fruit. This is why I have mixed opinions on protein sources. There's a stereotype that's like, oh, bodybuilders eat a lot of chicken and rice. It's all they ever have, chicken and rice. And that's what I used to do. I used to just make myself prep of just chicken and rice. And sure, you're getting macronutrients in, you're getting protein in, you're getting carbs in, but you're missing out on the micronutrients, which are so important for lowering your cortisol and increasing your overall testosterone. That's where beef comes in, that's where eggs come in, that's where fruit come in. Next, supplements. Supplements can be huge to assist you in maximizing your energy. What supplements should you be taking? The first one, vitamin D. This is so important. Let's talk about what happens without vitamin D so you understand how important this truly is, all right? Without enough vitamin D in your diet, you can have bone problems, right? Things like osteoporosis, they stem from not having enough vitamin D in your diet. The next thing is increased fatigue, right? You're a healthy dude, you want to be working out, you want to be building muscle. How are you supposed to recover from that if you're always feeling fatigued and weak? You're just going to have overall increased muscle weakness. You're not going to feel as good in the gym. And vitamin D is a pro hormone. Okay, so why would you not want to supplement a pro hormone that's going to help you boost your test as well as lower that cortisol and make you an overall higher energetic human being? The next thing that I'm just going to put as a bonus really is ashwagandha. I recommend this to some people simply because it reduces cortisol. So there's misconceptions that like, oh, ashwagandha boosts tests. No, it doesn't. But what it will do is return your testosterone to its normal level. Say you're living a super stressful lifestyle, you're an important big man. Your cortisol is going to be high. You're always stressed out. You're always thinking about what you have to take care of next, etc. So if you were to take ashwagandha, it's going to bring your cortisol levels down, which therefore is going to increase your testosterone levels back to where they should be at. And the next bonus is just creatine. If you're not taking creatine, you're just missing out on muscle growth, which is always awesome for overall energy, right? So the last point of maximizing our hormones is going to be getting 8 hours of sleep. You have to realize that 8 hours is a great number. You want to be aiming for 8 hours. But sometimes sleep quality is more important than sleep quantity. How can we increase the quality of sleep that we get within those 8 hours, opposed to just getting 8 hours of crappy sleep? The first thing you can do is manipulate your devices around bed. You guys know this. You know you shouldn't be scrolling, doom scrolling before you go to sleep. Yet that's what the majority of you guys do, and that's what I used to do before I became high energy, right? So even if you're gonna doom scroll, if you're gonna be a retard and brain rot yourself before bed, at least at least put a little bit of effort in and pick up blue light glasses on TikTok Shop. They're like $5, but they genuinely do block some of the blue light so that your body isn't signaled that's like, hey, sunlight, we got to be up and at 'em. No, your body, it's filtered a little bit, so it knows that you should be getting to sleep soon. Read books before bed. Don't be doom scrolling. All right. The next thing is caffeine. This is something I've been struggling with. Caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours. So I work out right now around 3 p.m. I'll have 300 milligrams, which is the most I'll ever have. And what that does is 6 hours later at 9 p.m. when I have to go to sleep, is I still have 150 milligrams of caffeine bumping in my system. So I could maybe be able to fall asleep, sure. Like people say, oh, caffeine doesn't affect me. I still fall asleep just fine. It's not about that. You fall asleep fine, but your body isn't entering REM sleep right away. Your body isn't falling into a deep, restful sleep right away. Instead, you're floating around, just barely getting sufficient rest towards like midnight, towards even later, to then when you're gonna get maybe an hour or two of good sleep. So cut out caffeine, put it earlier in your day, so that way that half-life, by the time you go to bed, you're able to actually get some good restful sleep. Timing your working out. There's no guy that works out at night that is genuinely productive and high energy. It's all like just gym TikTok voodoo stuff of like night aesthetic lift. You know, all those edits of like the dude pulling up the gym at midnight. That's bullshit. Okay, don't be working out that late. If you want to increase your overall energy, start working out earlier in the day so your body knows when it's supposed to be awake and it knows when you're supposed to be asleep. All right, transitioning into blood sugar. Blood sugar is crucial and it plays a major role in the fluctuation of your day-to-day energy. It spikes when you eat certain foods, which then leads you to be tired, to have mental fog. So the first thing I want you to do is experiment with fasting or just not eating carbs until later in the day. No carbs before noon is what I would recommend to anybody. Now, there's an exception to this if you're trying to gain weight like I am. It's currently 6 in the morning when I'm filming this. I'm about to go eat my 100-gram protein breakfast, right? We have 4 eggs, ground beef, avocado, cheese, and then 2 things of sourdough bread. That's carb right there. That's going to make me feel like shit. Why do you think I'm recording this video before eating that breakfast? Right now, I'm at peak mental clarity. I'm the most energetic I'm going to be all day. Once I consume that bullshit, my blood sugar is going to spike, and I'm going to be in a state of digestion. I'm going to be digesting the food and I'm going to be tired. I'm going to have mental fog. So if you can, no carbs until noon. That doesn't mean, if you're trying to gain weight, that doesn't mean you can't eat. You can still have your eggs and your ground beef in the morning, meat sources, right? Protein sources. But as soon as you just start eating a bunch of carbs, you're going to start feeling like crap. The next thing you can do to help keep your blood sugar steady is eat your protein first. If you're going to have a super high carb meal, say it's like a steak, rice, and veggies, eat the steak first. Have the steak because what protein does is it regulates your blood sugar. It's not going to spike nearly as high if you consume protein first. The next thing we want to pay attention to is the glycemic effects of foods. Things such as rice, potatoes, I'm going to put like the chart like right here. They have a very high glycemic level. Is that what it's called? Right? So when you consume these foods, your insulin, your blood sugar, it's going to spike and you're going to be in a state of digestion. You're going to be low energy after eating those. Things that you can resort to for carbs is going to be fruit, dates. Dates are amazing. They're full of micronutrients. Okay? So you're going to be checking off that micronutrient check mark, eating a few dates a day, as well as stabilizing your blood sugar levels so your energy isn't all over the place. The next and last thing I want to recommend to you is if you struggle with feeling groggy and feeling tired after your meals, because that's where it stems from, right? You eat a bunch of bullshit, you go to fast food, whatever it is. Once you have a meal, you start feeling low energy because you're in a state of digestion. Go for walks right after your meal instead of lounging in your bed, lounging on the couch, lounging in your chair, like just sitting down. Like, you're gonna want to fall asleep. You're gonna feel like shit. Get up and go for a 10 to 15-minute digestion walk. What walking is going to do is it aids in digestion. So when you're stepping right after you eat a large meal, you're digesting that food way faster than if you were to be just sitting at a desk or on a couch or on your bed, whatever. So go for a walk, get some steps in. That's going to bring your blood sugar back down. You're going to digest that food and you're going to feel so much better afterwards. This is exactly what I would implement on a cut, because I would have a bigger meal, like say my carb up meal before the gym. I waited till noon to have my first carbs. I had my pre-workout meal. Say I'm gonna go work out at like 2 p.m. If I have that pre-workout meal, the next 2 hours before the gym, I'm gonna feel like shit. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna go for a walk. 10-15 minute walk, literally a loop around my neighborhood, come back and I'm feeling just fine again. So walk after meals, it's going to help you out. It's the same thing with bulking. With bulking, if you're eating a ton of meals and you just feel like a fat slob, that's how I feel right now. I'm eating 4-5 meals a day that are like 1,000 calories, right? It's not an easy game to play. It's not fun to wake up and have 1,200 calories at 6:30 in the morning. But it's just what you got to do if you want to keep leveling up and reach the physique of your dreams, especially for us skinny guys, okay? So use the walking method. Walk after your meals, and it's going to help you with your high energy. So these are the exact things that I used to take myself from the soy boy I used to be, from the fat ass I used to be, to literally 2xing my energy, 2xing my productivity, 2xing my mental clarity, to the point where I know these things and I'm able to manipulate these factors every single day to keep myself kicking, to keep myself high energy. Get the best pumps in the gym, feel on top of the world, maximize my testosterone so that I'm making as much progress and building as much muscle and working towards my dream physique every single day. This is exactly what I teach in the program. This is exactly what all my clients go through. These frameworks is what I'm teaching. It's what I'm sharing. It's what we're implementing into their routines and taking their progress to that next level. Imagine a man functioning at 50%. He's 50% as motivated. He hits 50% of his workouts. He only commits to 50% of his diet. Imagine the results that guy's going to get, opposed to the man that's at 100%. He has higher testosterone. He has higher energy. He has higher motivation. That's exactly why we're seeing better results. That's exactly why my guys keep leveling up. So if you guys want to book a call and see if you're a good fit for one-on-one coaching, it's going to be the first link in the description below. I hope you guys took away a ton of value from this video. This stuff changed my life. Implement it, use it. Don't just click away from this video and go back to your soy boy low energy habits. Implement this stuff and your life is going to change. I promise you that. Mwah.